Welcome to WYSC, where we give you a quick peek at the day's top stories. I'm Julia Manchester, in for Jamal Simmons. 2020 Democrats are focusing in on Iowa. A new survey shows a competitive race emerging in key battleground states, and we'll have the latest on the impeachment front. This is why you should care. 2020 Democratic presidential candidates are focusing in on Iowa less than 100 days before the first nominating contest. The candidates were back in the Hawkeye State for the Justice and Liberty Celebration dinner on Friday. Each challenger set to stand out from their opponents.
But if the best Democrats can offer is business as usual after Donald Trump, Democrats will lose.
Thank you so much for being part of this, for making us feel like we're right at home, and for caring about the future of this country, because that is what's on the line.
I look forward to working with you to make sure that in this vitally important battleground state, we take back Iowa in the general election.
Donald Trump doesn't want me to be the nominee, and we must beat him. And I will beat him like a drum if I'm your nominee.
The four candidates are in a statistical tie, but Senator Elizabeth Warren and Mayor Pete Buttigieg have been steadily rising in the polls and fundraising. Warren made the case for her Medicare for All plan and insisted her bold ideas were a better bet for the country than what her rivals are offering, which she called, quote, vague ideas. Biden, who was once the frontrunner in Iowa, pushed back, saying Warren wouldn't be able to pass her plan through Congress. Meanwhile, Buttigieg, who's offered a more moderate health care plan with a private option, knocked Warren's plan as a my way or the highway approach. But one Democrat missing from Iowa was Texan Beto O'Rourke. He dropped out of the race on Friday after making a lackluster show in fundraising and in the polls. A recent New York Times Siena College poll found that Iowans are turning their support towards four candidates: Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and former Vice President Joe Biden. So why should you care about all of this? Well, all eyes are on Iowa. We know from the 2016 election data that the election was won in key battleground states. While Warren is ahead in the Hawkeye State, another New York Times Siena College poll finds it's actually Biden that edges out President Trump in a general election matchup in a number of key states. Keep in mind that all the numbers are near or within the poll's margin of error. But the survey finds Biden leading Trump by 5 points in Arizona, 3 points in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, and 2 points in Florida. And Bernie Sanders also edges Trump by 2 points in Michigan and Wisconsin, and by 1 point in Pennsylvania. Elizabeth Warren comes out ahead of the president in one of the battleground states surveyed. She's ahead in Arizona by 2 points. We're 1 year away from Election Day, and 2020 Democrats still have a lot of work to do in these key states if they want to win back the White House in 2020. The impeachment inquiry continues this week, but not without interruption. Late Sunday, the House Intelligence Committee subpoenaed 2 of President Trump's aides to appear before the committee on Monday, and 2 others were also on deck to testify. National security lawyer John Eisenberg and White House official Rob Blair did not show up on Monday morning. NSC aide Michael Ellis and Office of Management and Budget official Brian McCormack also skipped the proceedings. President Trump has pushed heavily against officials going before the House investigators to talk about the July 25th call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Monday morning, he tweeted, "There is no reason to call witnesses to analyze my words and meaning. This is just another Democrat hoax that I have had to live with from the day I got elected." On Capitol Hill, Senate Republicans are growing concerned that the president is putting too much stock on the House's impeachment effort instead of focusing on policy priorities like the economy. Keep in mind, an impeachment vote would likely die in the Senate. But still, the president is showing no signs of slowing his attack against the Democrats' effort. Also on the impeachment front, over the weekend, Mark Zaid, the lawyer representing the whistleblower who reported supported the president's call with the Ukrainian leader, announced his client is willing to issue written responses to questions that Republican lawmakers might have. Since the beginning of the report and the launch of the impeachment inquiry, Republicans have railed against the Democrats' process for lacking transparency and excluding Republican lawmakers. But Republican Congressman Jim Jordan already said written responses aren't enough, and the whistleblower must appear in person. We'll see what happens during the rest of the week.
Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos. And head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.